Alright, welcome in. This is going to be another Stormgate cast, and I'm Algorithmore. And this is going to star my friend Duthcy, aka Drop It, in the Blue Infernal. And his opponent in this match, in the Red Infernal, this is going to be Katana, aka Elf. And let's see what's going on. Elves, they both scouted in the right direction, which is interesting. That's rare to do on 4-player maps, unless one of you's doing counter and the other one's going clockwise, which, you know, it's like left-handed versus right-handed or something. Which way do you go? But they both get a good early scout. We've got a Mushroom Shrine from Elf here, and I kind of like the positioning of this one, because on this map, and at least in this position, this creates like a full wall over here. Say against fiends or something like that. So that's going to be useful. And just a good old regular normal shrine for Duthcy here back home. Vault opening and its conclave opening for Elf, which again, not too surprised. Look at this, spending her first 50 Ethereum on the Ritual Chamber. Again, we saw that in an earlier game. And I like that. That's an Elf special. Little build order cheat, if you will, to get that Plague Axe is absolutely the fastest you can get it. And we'll see what happens here when that finishes, to see if she's got the Ethereum so that she can begin that as soon as possible. But wait a second, five fiends already on the way. This is what happens when you build no units, I guess. Here come the first sconce, and I think this is not what she wanted. Well, she definitely didn't want to get her hexes surrounded, that's for sure. But she didn't want to spend her Ethereum there on the gaunt. She wanted to spend it on the Plague Axes, and she only made the 2 sets of gaunts. She might have had an extra charge for a second set. The first set of, I don't know what I'm saying, but she might have had enough for more, but she really just wanted to get those Plague Axes started. So little sacrifice there, losing her Hex in as a result, and taking damage on that shrine, which might come into play later. And Duthcy out here being aggressive with his creeping onto 2 conclaves to back up his vault. A mushroom place shrine over here, if you will. Ritual Chamber hiding in the back. And our Plague Axes are already done for Elf. And we'll see if she can take advantage of that. She does have a window here. And looks like this is a creeping force, not a attack force. At least it's going to start that way. Trying to move those units around to retarget. And got lucky there with the charge on the effigy instead of on any of her units. And okay, so yeah, she's staying on just doing the creeping, but one of the reasons why I like this build out of her is she got that fast Plague Axes. Now she's creeping. She's just got 10 fiends for free, which you usually don't get without a Hexen. She didn't even have a Hexen. And look at this force here. This is kind of a small force looking compared to this now. And what are you going to do with this elf? I mean, oh, she doesn't know. She doesn't know. She could have... Oh, there were some reinforcements coming, but I think she could have had a real good engage there if she had swung up with her fiends and got a nice surround on some of those gaunts, and then just let her gaunts just, you know, go to town with the DPS there. But looks like she's trying to get the most from her fiend and gaunt force and get more fiends and gaunts, basically, or more fiends here. And yeah, again, that's going to be 5 more fiends. If she clears every small camp on the map, she could end up with, you know, 30 or 40 fiends. Reaper's Rush just finished for her. Another thing that she likes to do, go fast into that Reaper's Rush. And Duthcy being defensive. Got Megs in nice positions here on the ramp. He's got a nice, and boom, immediately with the trample, which clears out some of the fiends. And again, and nice control. Sometimes when you got a trampling Magmadon like that, you kind of want to just like, let me get right in the middle of your units. But no, he's like, I'm just going to chase you away and reposition back on the ramp. Once again, pulling his units up the ramp behind that static D. So he definitely knows what he's doing there. And again, Elf trying to take advantage of her early Plague Axes, and that was not the right position for that effigy, just a little off. But probably still managed to get some infest there. And thanks to Flibuster, who tells me this was about to happen. I almost didn't see that. But yeah, here's a huge drop coming. And that's going to be big for Duthcy here. Some of Elf's Gaunts pump out right away. And looks like Duthcy's trying to just go for the imps. And sure enough, getting a lot of them. But Manifest Shroudstone managed... Oh, sorry about that bug there. He does fly away. Does fly away. So nice drop. Nice drop from Drop It. Drop it like it's hot. It looks like he lost maybe half of his Gaunts there, but he's going to commit to a second drop here. We see the static D going down for Elf, and now it looks like there might be an engage in the middle while this is happening. Elf once again kind of prematurely dropping her effigy, I think. And she split her units up here, and look at this micro against a Magmadon. She's unperturbed about being like, I'm going to do Gaunts versus a Mag. That's fine. She wants that. She splits up. It's like some of her Gaunts are on the low ground. She is definitely the queen of Gaunts. It knows that, but those Gaunts in the energy camp are not good. Yeah, she runs them away. Spriggans showing up here. Spriggans are actually a good choice here. Yeah, the drop is going down there again, but wow. Okay, Shadow Flyers, and even though Magmadons, you know, can't hit air, they're good against the Gaunts. More Gaunts showing up, but she's losing her base over here to this. So she is going to clean up this army, it looks like, maybe. Actually, maybe not. Another really good stomp here for Duthcy. But that is the last Magmadon here. But look at this. Oh, no, 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 no. There's only 4 Gaunts here, so you know what that means is they killed that whole imp line with that drop. And now using that Ling micro to put them on hold position in the mineral line, that worked a lot better for Lings, to be honest, than it does for Fiends. But still makes it so that they will at least attack the imps instead of fighting Fell Hogs or something else. It looks like this drop might get cleaned up here by Elf, but it did a lot of damage. It did a lot of damage. And, oh, there's... Okay, trying to get the final bit of value out of that drop, but eventually losing it there. Now, what's the follow-up from Elf? She went Spriggans, which is different than I've seen her in the past. So... those can be good against the Magmadons, to be fair. The Magmadons can't jump, as we repeatedly have to remind ourselves. But what about, you know, Hellborn? The Shadow Flyers did a pretty good job on the Spriggans there. And if that's all Duthcy's going to need to counter this, then what's the follow-up? What else? Is it just all Gaunts? She loves her Gaunts, and I don't want to take that away from her. What can she get it done? With pure Gaunt. So this base has to get cancelled, and these Shroudstone's probably also going to get cancelled or just taken out. Duthcy's repositioning. He's got a bunch of Gaunts. But it looks like it's a lot more. The Magmadons might still be the answer here. Elf has really good splits, but so here she's going to try and get on this base. And what does that mean for Duthcy? He's going to move forward with some of his units while bringing Shadow Flyers over here to defend the Spriggans. Looks like, okay. Maybe deciding like to push in, but no, pulling back. And I like that for the safety. And now there's going to be engaged right here on the Shroud. Gaunt's trying to pick off one of those Magmadons. This army is not really a push up the ramp kind of army. It's a I want to catch you in the middle of the map army. Keep looking at these fiends. They're just running back and forth on patrol over there. So yeah, like how do you break a defensive player when you are on this just on Gaunts and Spriggans? The Spriggans can be good for harass, but Duthcy has been very defensive. So you see, like it's hard for them to come in and do any kind of countering here. So instead, she's just trying to be like, I'm gonna stay on lots of bases. She does have lots of bases. I'm gonna, you know, stay on the map control. But now Duthcy's pushing out and trying to take that center again. And here we go. This might be it. She's at some point she has to fight, and she does want to fight on the map. So seeing those units out here, Shadow Flyer's getting some impacts, but the rest being cleaned up by Gaunts. And once again, she's like, let's fight on the middle of the map. Molten Touch on Spriggans. I don't think I'd seen that before. That looked cool. So yeah, all those bases cleaned up again, and here comes Duthcy. No, he wants to get into this middle. Here comes some Magmadons. Oh, very nice. He only uses one Magmadon for trample. Huge Nightfall Infestation from Elf. Catches almost all those units, and all these units are in retreat. Back to, well, there are some Shroud Stones there. Another very, you know, really wants to get that down. More Shadow Flyers coming out. There's a lot of Spriggan here. If they get caught by the Shadow Flyer, it could look bad. Gaunts need to attack. Gaunts need to be attacking. Shadow Flyer, huge Shadow Flyer impacts. The Spriggans are starting to go down. Magmadons here doing their job in the front, and it's just a lot of Fiends now. That's one thing. Gaunts produces a ton of Fiends if you get caught like this, and there's just Fiends everywhere. It's a Fiend snowball. And unfortunately, that composition from Elf was not the answer here. And look at this, just a ton of Fiends. And that's a GG out of Elf.